What is up, everybody? This is Keith, Cover Guy 231 across the DFS industry. Welcome to another WNBA 3-ball. Not in front of my computer this time. As you can see, there will not be a screen share, but did want to get you guys out some WNBA picks for this Sunday. We have a 3-game slate starting at 1. Should be an interesting slate. I think a lot of it's going to be dominated by the injury news, as we've seen a lot. We have Chicago back in the slate. Candace Parker, as of yesterday, was probable. She is now questionable and does not look like she's going to play. But making sure that you have plans and that you are watching the starting lineups is going to be huge. Just a quick reminder, though, before I get into the picks. Like, subscribe, comment. It all helps so much. Really do appreciate all the support we are getting at FSI from all of you, whether it's soccer, whether it's WNBA. It is really appreciated. All right, let's go just site by site so I can remember things right. Let's start on FanDuel, because I think FanDuel is like so much more straightforward than DraftKings. FanDuel did not price the Chicago players up at all. And without Candace Parker, there are just some extreme values on the slate. So let's just start off with Courtney Vandersloot, the league's best pure point guard. I believe she averaged double-double last year, but she led the league in assists. One of the best facilitators in all of women's basketball. And they inexplicably priced her at $5,200. I just don't understand. You know, she's a $7,000 player. You know, at worst, you see her in like the mid-6s, not a $5,200. So, you know, she's going to be almost 100% in cash games. And versus New York, there's just really no reason to fade. So, Courtney Vandersloot, first player in your lineup on FanDuel. Then I think, you know, that where I'm going to go from there is the 2 Chicago forwards. So, Endor and Ruthie Hubbard both played huge minutes, had big games without Candace Parker last time. We may see, it looks like Azura Stevens, who's a really good player, a huge big, very talented. But everything I read, she's going to be on an extreme minutes limit. So when you start looking at the Chicago front court, you go, all right, you know, I've got Ruthie Hubbard, I've got Endor, I've got to replace 30 Candace Parker minutes or 35 Candace Parker minutes, and so many of those minutes are going to be done. You know, Azura Stevens, let's say that she plays 15, that's 7 and 8 for one of those two. You're still going to be looking at the high 20s in minutes on them likely, and they're just going to smash it, both under 5K, and I just don't really see a way around them. So on FanDuel, your first 3 are all Chicago players, and realistically, your 4th might be one of the guards too. It might be Copper, who's up there. So I don't know if you'll be Copper, but Diamond DeShields, if he's going to play 30 minutes, is going to get double-digit shots. And she's only like, I think it was 4,400. So realistically, FanDuel is going to be dominated by Chicago. All right, let's go to DraftKings, where the pricing is a little more dynamic. We're going to have a little more choices to make. Hey, I'm going to start out with Ruthie Hubbard. You know, she exploded last game, you know, without Candace Parker. She is a former first-round pick. I do think she's a little more talented than Endor. I ended up not really playing Ruthie the first time because I didn't know what her role would be. That was really an oversight on my part. I'm not going to make it again. I do think, if anything, Azura Stevens probably cuts into Endor over Ruthie Hubbard, who's a lot more dynamic and can do more things. So Ruthie Hubbard, even at 8,400, which is tough because you're getting up there. Like, all of a sudden, not very high up, you see like Liz Cambridge, who, it sucks that her minutes are limited. Like, we really need to figure that out. Like, when those minutes are going to get close to 30, because Liz Cambridge at like 9,200 is going to absolutely smash when it happens. But you see McCowan, you see some really big names. So it's kind of hard to click the Ruthie Hubbard button. But just like NBA, WNBA, and any sort of fantasy basketball is all about opportunity. And Ruthie Hubbard's opportunity is going to be fantastic. At guard, I'm going to go back to the tilt well that is Sabrina Ionosu. She has now, you know, if you're into patterns, right, you go smash, disappointment. We're back at smash. I don't know, man. She's so talented. You know, she could do literally everything. I think it's a great matchup. I think that she should be right back to it. But, like, even as I was like making my holders, I'm like, really? I'm going to do this again? Yes, I'm going to do it again. I think there's enough value to make it happen. She's just too talented. Like, if she gets, it was my point of last slate, if she gets 50 or 60, getting 50 or 60 in the WNBA is really hard. So just to be able to get that type of production from one player, especially if you can make the lineup work, I think makes a ton of sense. I kind of messed this up. I'm going to end up giving you like 4 plays. I don't know exactly. I don't know if I'm going to end up playing them all. Maybe Sabrina's one that drops, but I have to mention Tina Charles because before I got into the car, I put her on the cover. I might be like wavering on that because Ford's still loaded, but let's just talk about Tina Charles with no Elena Delle Donne, with no Emma Meesman, and no Hines Allen. Just all of the offense goes through Tina Charles. Last game she exploded. There was a little bit of revenge there. She admitted that. But you're just gonna have so much usage. She can rebound. She should really be in line for double doubles almost every single game that you don't see, Hines Allen and Delle Donne. But it's just kind of like Sabrina in a lot of ways. I feel like with Tina, as long as the game stays close, you're locking in close to 40 points, which is really hard to not, just go ahead and lock in. And the final play I want to bring up just for value, Jessica Breland got the start. Jessica Breland I think she's only 6,400 on DraftKings. On everything stopped, like since I've been playing WNBA, she always produces when she gets the minutes. So she got the start for Indiana. Played 27 minutes, put up 38 DK. She is that talented. Like there's been games she's put up 50 DK. So at the price, as long as she's starting, I just think that she's almost like I don't want to ever say anybody is a must, especially if you can find other value, but at 6,400, to get somebody with that type of upside, it's really hard to pass on. All right, that'll do it. Sorry for if I jumped over. Sorry if any of the prices that I remembered before I get on here and before I got on the road are wrong, but the picks are there. I hope all of you do well. Thank you so much for continuing to support these videos. With that, I'll say, see ya!